Na jayate mriyate va kadachin nayam bhutva bhavita va na bhuyaha ajo nityaha shashvatoyam purano na hanyate hanyamane sharire. So Krishna here is saying that na jayate. So like last lecture we have discussed how this individual soul is a individual atomic particle, spiritual atom, and there is a difference between spiritual atom and material atom. So the spiritual atom is much smaller than material atom. That is why they are unable to perceive the presence of the soul in one's heart, even though they have very sophisticated equipment. But from the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam and other great scriptures, we can understand the presence of the soul in the body. So we have discussed how individual the soul is individual particle, and also another characteristic of the soul is its intentionality. Intentionality means, just like suppose if I kick a football from this room, the football does not know that it is going out, but I know that I am kicking the football. But at the same time, suppose if I am going out of this room, then I know that I am going out. So that is called intentionality. So that intentionality is not there in matter. So what is the difference between matter and spirit? We can say that there are three differences. One is matter is not individual, because if you take any particular piece of matter, it has only uniform qualities in it. It's not nothing individual in that, because all this whatever matter you take, Krishna says bhumirapu analo vayu kamanu buddhirevacha ahankaramiti yamme binna prakriti astada. Any matter that you take, it consists of earth, water, fire, air, ether. So all whatever your body is consisting of these 5 elements and 3 subtle elements, and my body is also consisting of the same 5 elements and 3 subtle elements. But the soul is different. Soul is different. So the soul is characterized by its individuality. So each soul is an individual spiritual atom, but matter is uniform, no individuality, and in the same way matter has no intentionality. Just like I gave this example, but the soul has this intentionality. Then the soul has form and the matter has no form. The impersonal matter is impersonal and the soul has form. Soul is a person. So many people they do not understand this aspect. Suppose if you want to test who is a real sadhu, you can pose this question to that person, that body has form and the soul has no form, true or false? You must ask that person. I will repeat, body has form, the soul has no form, true or false? So if that person answers it is true, then he is not a sadhu. That means he has no knowledge. He has no knowledge, because everybody thinks that some soul is some light, jyoti or something like that. But actually, according to Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam, the soul has form and the body has no form. Just like I give this example, this piece of cloth has a shape of this kurta because of my body. As soon as this kurta is taken out and fallen on this floor, then this kurta loses its shape and it just looks like just a piece of cloth. And in the same way, this matter has no form, but actually it is in the reservoir of matter. It is a big earth, water, fire, air, ether. But when the soul enters this piece of matter, and this matter attains form of the soul, but as soon as the soul leaves this body and that matter loses its shape and again merges with the universal reservoir of earth, water, fire, air, ether. So, if you understand this example very clearly, you can understand that the soul has form, body has no form. So, one who understands that soul has form, the body has no form, has real spiritual knowledge. This is what we learn from Bhagavad Gita as it is. So, that so from this we can understand that how the soul is a individual person, then actually in human form of life, the matter assumes the form of the soul. But in other just like suppose I am traveling in a bus, that bus, the huge body of that matter, that it covers me, but I retain my individual form also, but but I have an individual form in the same way. But actually in all other forms of life, the soul's form is covered up, subdued, but actually in human form of life, the soul actually the matter assumes the form of the soul, that so every soul has a form which is made of Sachidananda, Sat, Chit and Ananda. Sat means eternality, Chit means knowledge, and Ananda means bliss. So, our original constitution of the body is actually Sachidananda and the soul, and that Sachidananda body is covered by two bodies, mind, intelligence and false ego, and earth, water, fire, air, ether. So, these 8 elements are covering our original body. That is why we are unable to enjoy actually in this body, because our real form is completely covered by these 8 elements. So, it is very, very important, and in the same way Krishna has his own supreme beautiful form, and the soul has a form, but matter has no form. But all the scientists, philosophers, all people, those who are talking on TV and all, they only talk about this, soul has no form, Krishna has no form, Nirakar, Bhagavan, Nirakar, Ham, Jyoti, and all that. But actually we are all persons. That is why we have individual desires. We are all the souls are characterized by particular desire. So, what is the difference between one soul from another soul is this desire. So, we have the soul can, in this material world, soul can only do one thing, that is desiring, and as soon as the soul desires in one particular way, actually Prakriti, consisting of 3 modes of nature, they act. Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha ahankar vimudhatma kartaham iti manyate. Actually we are not doing anything in this world, we are just passive, but we are only doing one thing, that is desiring. So, as soon as we desire, and the matter acts, material nature acts. But actually as I explained before, that because the soul is a very minute particle, 1/10,000th of tip of the hair, so we cannot actually enjoy in this world on our own. That is, but Krishna actually makes arrangements for all of us, just like, so I cannot manufacture a Yamaha motorbike, but Yamaha company people, when they manufacture and make a bike, I can purchase one and enjoy a ride on that bike. But I am so small, I cannot actually manufacture its own. But in the same way, the soul actually cannot manipulate matter on its own, because the soul is very, very minute, and Krishna is a supreme enjoyer, and he is the supreme proprietor, and when he manipulates the matter through the help, with the help of the time, with the 3 modes of nature, and when he makes arrangements for all of us, when the matter is divided into 24, 25, 26 elements, at that time the individual soul can manipulate the matter and enjoy, But another aspect is, that is the difference between spirit and matter. The scientists, they say that their laws they apply universally everywhere under all circumstances, but actually it is not true, because their laws do not apply on the soul. Just like suppose if they say that you take any object and throw it from the top of a house and it will fall down, it will, because of gravitational pull, that is their law. But suppose if I throw a stone, it will fall, but if I throw a bird, will it fall? No, because the bird may fly. Suppose if somebody throws me from the top floor, I may fall, but I can catch some balcony, some railing or something, then I do not have to fall. So, that is the difference between the soul. So, all these gravitational pull and all, they do not apply on living souls, living birds and living human beings. It may, we can fall, we can protect ourselves, but the object, material object, it will fall. So, that is because the soul has intentionality, the soul has individuality. That is why all the laws do not apply under all circumstances, it is fault. So, this the soul is encumbered in this body consisting of earth, water, fire, air, ether, and mind, intelligence, and false ego. And this mind, the mind is the cause of all happiness and distress, and the soul is completely subdued. And because of the mind, the desires are transferred to the mind, and the mind is manipulating all these things, and the senses act, and we get sense enjoyment and all that. Because of all these things, we are undergoing lot of material miseries. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, there are 3 types of material miseries that we experience, that is Adhyatmika Klesha, Adi Bhautik Klesha, and then Adi Daivika Klesha. Adhyatmika Klesha means suffering due to the body and or suffering due to the mind. So, we all have this experience that the body is called Shariram Rogamandiram. So, this body is full of all kinds of diseases, and then we have to suffer from various kinds of diseases, and we have to apply medicine, we have to take medicine, and then that itself, that treatment itself is miserable. And then sometimes we have a problem because of the mind is disturbed, depression and all other diseases. So, all the time either we are suffering due to the body or suffering due to the mind. So, body, as long as we have body, we have hunger, we have thirst, we have death, we have old age, and then we have lamentation, we have illusion. So, all these are called 6 waves of suffering. Then the suffering due to the other living entities, that is called Adi Bhautik Klesha. Suppose we are working in a company, somebody may become envious of us and then pull us down, that is called suffering due to the other living entities. Just like right now we are having this problem of dengue, chikungunya. So, all these mosquitoes are biting. So, mosquitoes, snakes, scorpions, they are all called envious living entities. So, they bite us without our fault, without provoking. That is suffering due to the other living entities. Then suffering due to the, it is called Adi Daivika Klesha. Adi Daivika Klesha means suffering due to the natural calamities. Just like some time back we had huge floods all over India, and so many people are suffering, and in various parts of the world they have these earthquakes, and because of that thousands of people are dying. And this year is considered the most hottest year because it was so hot, and then people are dying because of too much heat. And in America and some other countries they are dying because of too much cold. And in spite of all their materialistic advancement, scientific advancement, their equipments, they cannot stop the suffering due to the natural calamities. People, they cannot stop typhoons, they cannot stop cyclones, they cannot stop earthquakes, they cannot stop flood, they cannot stop too much heat, they cannot stop too much cold. Unnecessarily they are proud, we are advancing, but actually if you see, we are simply helpless in front of nature, and nature is far too superior to all of us, and then nobody can stop, no machine can stop flood. Just like in Chennai, there are so huge floods and so many crores of, thousands of crores of rupees lost, and so many people have died, they are helpless, we are helpless. So, these three miseries, Adi Devi Klesha, Adhyatmik Klesha, Adi Bhautik Klesha, nobody can stop. Suppose somebody says that this so and so is government, is now BJP government, and then we are all suffering because of this threefold miseries, and then if tomorrow if Congress party wala says that please vote for us, we will pass a resolution, constitutional law, we will make it that in India nobody will suffer from threefold miseries. Is it possible? No government can stop this flow of threefold miseries, and they cannot pass laws banning threefold miseries in our lives. Everybody, whether it is Prime Minister of India or a dog on the street, everybody irrespective of their position, material positions, they have to suffer from these threefold miseries. And then Srila Prabhupada said, why these natural calamities come? Because Prabhupada said these wars, pestilence, floods, earthquakes, they all come because when Krishna thinks that too many sinful people are burdening the earth, and then Krishna sends all these natural calamities to remove some people from this earth. And also Prabhupada said, Krishna sends these earthquakes and calamities to remind all of us of his presence, that he wants to give a notice that yeah, you all have forgotten me, just look turn your face and recognize that I am here. That is why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 9th chapter, Maya Dyakshena Prakriti Suyate Sacharacharam Hetunanena Kaunteya Jagad Vipari Vartate. Krishna says that by my under my supervision, my adi akshena, akshena means supervision. So, under my supervision this material nature is working. So, we are all bound in this material nature, and then we are controlling all of us, and then there are another four kinds of miseries in our life, birth, death, old age and disease. It is called Janma Mrityu, Jara Vyadhi. So, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Indriyartheshu Vairagyam Anahankara Evacha Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi Dukkha Dosha Anudarshanam. So, Krishna says, Krishna defines knowledge. What is knowledge? So, going to IIM or MIT and getting a degree, actually that is not real knowledge. Real knowledge means, Krishna says that one who is continuously observing birth, death, old age and disease, means so once one lady, her son died, young son died, and then she went to Lord Buddha and crying, please my son died, please do something. Then Lord Buddha asked her that you find out any house in this village that nobody has died, no one person has died in their house. So, if you find one house like that, then I will make your son alive. Then she went around all the village, then she checked, then she could not find one house also. Then she came back, they said, oh, this is inevitable. So, why are, so this death is the most thing, that is the thing that causes most suffering in our life, because whenever somebody close to us die, we have to cry, we cry a lot, and then we feel separation from that person, then we have to suffer a lot. And then in the same way, it is said in Garuda Purana that at the time of death, a person suffers so much pain, like just like when 33,000 scorpions bite, how much pain one gets, that much pain one experiences when the soul has to leave the body at the time of death. So, the soul, that is why we are all afraid of death, when we do not want to die, we are doing so many things to protect our life, So, the birth also is so much suffering when we are in the womb of a mother, just like suppose if I ask somebody that I will pack you in a gunny bag and keep it in a corner of room, would you like it? None of us like, but actually we are in that situation for 9 months in the womb of a mother, then we are suffering so much. And then in the womb, it is said in 3rd canto Bhagavatam, we pray to Lord Krishna that, my dear Lord, please release me from this womb, I will worship you because I am suffering so much. But as soon as we come out of the womb, we forget our promise to Krishna, And in the same way, all of you know how much we suffer because of disease and how much we suffer because of old age. So, these 4 things, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, that is real, our real problem in our lives. That is the real problem, not this hunger, not this not getting a proper job, or not getting a proper girlfriend, not getting married, not becoming a some minister in the government, not getting a job. These are all not very small problems when compared to the biggest problem that we have in our life, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi, birth, death, old age and disease. Somebody asked Prabhupada in America, Swamiji, why there is mortality rate is very high in India? Srila Prabhupada replied that mortality rate is same everywhere, 100%. Why in America people don't die? So, aage piche, everybody has to die in this world. So, the responsibility of a soul that is occupying human body is to get out of this 7 types of miseries, that is Adhyatmik Klesha, Adibhautik Klesha, Adidevik Klesha, Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi. So, these are the 7 problems that we face in our life. They are all interconnected, but and as long as the actually from Bhagavad Gita we can understand that the soul has no birth, na jayate, na mriyate va. For something which has date of birth, it has date of death, but for something which has no date of birth, it has no date of death. So, the individual soul has no birth and has no death, no death. So, that is why, but actually because of the false ego, because of the mind, we are actually got entangled in the enmeshed in this material body, then actually and then the whatever suffering that is happening, it is suffering to the body, and suffering is happening to the mind, suffering is happening to the body, but suffering is not happening to the soul, because the soul is not a material atom, material particle which can be subjected to all these sufferings. But actually because of the false ego, which is other called ahankar, because of the ahankar, actually the soul is different from the body, but because of this false ego, I am thinking I am this body. That is the main cause of our suffering in this world. The moment I become free from this false ego, that I am not this body, one understands that I am not this body, I am a soul occupying in this body, I am an occupier of this body, I am not this body. So, whatever wars that are happening, whatever that fighting that is happening, it is because of this ego, false ego, that I am this, I am that, I am American, I am Indian, I am Muslim, I am Christian, I am Hindu, I am Andhra, I am Maharashtrian. All these feelings are coming because of this bodily, it is called bodily consciousness. Prabhupada always used to say skin disease. Because of this bodily consciousness, we are undergoing lot of suffering. So, but as soon as we read Bhagavad Gita, understand that dehinosmin yata dehe kaumaram evanam jara tata dehantara prapti dhirastatra namuhyati. As soon as I understand that I am not this body, I am the soul, I am simply occupying this body and going from one body to another body, and because of whatever is happening, this birth, death, old age and disease is happening to the body, not to me. I should not suffer, I do not have to suffer. When we understand this knowledge, we can actually get out of this suffering. Otherwise, as much as you try, and even if you become President of America, even if you become Prime Minister of India, even if you become Lord Brahma, Indra, anybody you become in this world, and how much wealth you may acquire, how much beauty you may acquire, but still nobody can escape from the suffering of birth, death, old age and disease. Suppose if somebody is very rich, can they say that I do not have to fall sick? If somebody is very beautiful, do not they become old? Somebody is very powerful, can they say I do not have to die? Everybody in this world, they are very anxious because of these 4 problems, birth, death, old age and disease, and other 3 is called tapatraya, 3 types of miseries. And the responsibility of the soul who is occupying this human form of life is to get out of this cycle of birth and death and permanently reside in Krishna's planet. So that is why Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Abrahma bhunal loko punaravartino Arjuna mamupettitu kaunteya punarjanma na vidyate. Those who come to my planet, they will never have to take birth again in these material planets. But if somebody goes to Brahmaloka also, they have to come back and take birth again and have to suffer from birth, death, old age and disease. So one must make determination that at the end of this life, I should get out of this material body and get my spiritual body back, because we already have a spiritual body, and we don't need this material body, because of our false ego we are occupying this body, but actually we don't need, because I have my own spiritual body which cannot be subjected to any kind of suffering, because spiritual body is made of Sachidananda, so it cannot be subjected to these material miseries, birth, death, old age and disease. So this can be achieved by chanting loudly every day, at least for 2 hours, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. By repeating this holy names of the Lord, by purifying our consciousness, by getting rid of this false ego, we can actually achieve this success of conquering death. Like we explained before also, the goal of human life should be to conquer death. So how do we conquer death? By chanting this mantra and purifying ourselves, this consciousness that I am this body. So we should get back our original consciousness that I am the servant of Krishna. So that can be achieved by chanting the holy names of Krishna very loudly. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.